So now let's figure out where all the stuff goes. So I was told by some transmission guys, gave me some advice. They said, use this. It's by Loop Guard, and no joke, it's goo. Assembly goo. Yeah. This doesn't come up with it. I was fighting that, I don't know what the hell. Nevertheless, it's like wax. It's just waxy, and it's green, so it doesn't confuse if there's any type of transmission leaks. Transmission fluid's red. So I'll be painting this all over everything. And got the case all cleaned up. This bush in here, it's perfect. I don't see any reason to change it. That, and I don't know exactly how to set the depth on it. If it was scored and it wasn't brass, or if I saw chafing lines in it, I would definitely knock it out and pop a new one in. But it's completely gold all the way around, so like it's new. So I'll just let that be. So since this was the last thing I took out, this will be the first thing I go back in. But there's a inner square washer and two outer square washers. So that's where those square washers go. So to answer that question, pop them out of there. So I'll go ahead and get a little pick. So I got those lined out on my table here, and I go find the three in my box that match. So got these three, and this looks like it. SUB K3311 22278. Bird's freaking out. All right. Something wrong with that thing. All right, so I already got a little bit of fluid on my fingers. I'll just go ahead and do a little slip on this. This went and dropped down inside of this cup. This is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe some assembly goo all on this because it looks like a rotating piece, and drop it back in. A little goo. All right. That has been gooed. Put some goo on the bush, right? Can't hurt nothing. It's goo. Goo might be gross, but it's good. All right. Flip this back in upright position so I can start loading it up. It's about as close as I can get my tripod. I'm not a professional anyway. They got better YouTube channels for that. So this has been cleaned and lightly gooed. It's got this chamfer right here, and it looks like that's what your parking brake goes through. So I'll see how easily I can drop this down in here in my super clean case. There we go. And there's a window right here that's as big as this cut is. So I believe this goes in there just like that. I think it's in the right spot. Like when you look in here, you got your parking brake. When you put it in park, that little dude comes in there and lines up on that next gear. So that's got to be in the right spot where that window sits. Now to reinstall the spring assembly. That goes in next. So here's all these springs. These go down next. Alright, so I got my compression tool. Can lock that back down in there with this. So I basically just took that out to change out the O-rings on the outside of it. So fit this back in here like this. Get some pressure off of it. Run this one down. I was trying to go too low. Keep the bottom from spinning while you turn the top. So this just depresses the spring straight down. And just go until the springs bottom out. So this is pretty much the only specialty tool I've used to take this whole thing apart, is this one weird case style spring compressor. I'll put my snap ring back in it. So I'm trying to get, you see my finger there? Get the snap ring on this little groove right here, and they give you a little half a circle to get it in there with. But so I went ahead and soaked the clutches so I don't put them back in dry. That's the next step. See if we can put the low reverse back together and keep going from there. All right, so we're putting the low clutches back in, and there's a notch right there that goes to the bottom of the case. It's the best way I could figure out how to line it up. And then the rest of them go in right afterwards. So I pre-soaked them all.
And first thing we want to get this planetary in. Got her. All right.
So that's in. Make sure it spins free. Yep, beautiful. And then I'm gonna go ahead and place all these clutches. I pre-soaked them in fluid, and the notch pointing down.
You can try to do them all at once, or you can just do them one at a time, which may be the easier way to do them. Yeah, let's just do them one at a time.
I hear you. All right, so
this guy should.
The clutches don't have any teeth, just the steels do.
Well,
they have
the clutches, yeah.
The clutches go on the planetary, and then the steels go on the case.
One.
That notch goes straight, points straight to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, just like that. Okay. Yeah.
Flip it
Unless
over.
it's upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. It was upside down.
Cool. All right. That's in. Next step.
Retainer ring, I believe.
This little guy?
That little guy right there.
All right, this little guy. Yep, that pushes on that steel plate. Keeps
Trying to keep all that in place.
Is there any special place that it clicks into, or just put it in?
I don't believe I would. Let's see. Let's see the shape. It should be like a piston ring, or it's.
right. Next.
Yeah, next step, probably going to be... We sitting here fighting this motherfucker and look. Tells us where the...
Yeah. The pictures in the catalog don't coincide with the directions. You gotta flip forward a couple pages or back and it tells you how to put it in.
Oh shit, you gotta love that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's just make sure. I mean, I don't think it'll go the wrong way.
Right.
But all right, so the groove's right there, and yeah. Okay,
groove.
so we got it right.
Groove in the bottom.
So just remember, flip forward and back in here and make sure.
ATSG manual. You gotta go through the whole thing before you decide to touch it all.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we're gonna set this thing right here.
This is your one-way bearing. It spins one direction, but not the other. So this will go in. So it's got this wider section here. There you go. So in the case, like I said, I'm just figuring this out how I go. This is the first transmission I've done in 20 years, and I really don't remember any of it. So in the case, there's a flat spot right in here, and this whole piece lines up with that flat spot right there in the end. So that's in there. So back to this, then the snap ring. In case it missed it. Taking all the stuff back out. So you got this kind of copper faced steel and this plastic. This plastic sits down inside of the bearing and it kind of keeps the gear, or I'll pull the gear out too just in case the GoPro screwed up again. So this goes on the back of your sun gear. Your sun gear rides on this. This snap ring sits in a groove. It's all ready to go. And then this will find its home, just kind of spin it and it locks in. Then this goes with the teeth up on the back of your sun gear.
And to help keep everybody in place.
And we'll throw some goo on it, get some training goo.
In case it wasn't mentioned earlier, this is just an assembly grease that basically, as soon as this thing warms up, this is going to dissolve and go away.
Turns into trans fluid.
Yeah.
Or gets caught in a filter or whatever.
No, it won't get caught in a filter.
Right, it just flies through the filter.
Right.
So that does its thing.
And don't be afraid to use it.
All right.
Especially once you get to the valve body, you're really gonna love that stuff.
So sun gear back in. This is what happens when you go from reverse to drive. You break this thing. It's all in there. It's just close clearance.
Okay, so that's planetary there. All that should be together.
So then
The band.
this is the planetary housing that this sits into. It'll find its home, give it a spin.
Okay, they did give you a new band.
Yeah, I got a new band.
Good. I was gonna say that one.
And that pops in here next.
Still work, but
Give it a spin till it lines up and locks in. That's another gear. I don't know what gear it is, but that's a gear. Alright, so we have rotated this up. My hole doesn't line up right, but here's the rear shaft. This is where your drive shaft goes in. I'm gonna slide this in next. I'm gonna hit all these holes with some air first before I put this in here, just to be sure.
yeah.
Yeah, this is what oils all your bearings, so make sure all these passages are clean.
Well, maybe it's a different type, because I know they used to have the little spline shaft pressed into this the sun gear right here, and that was the Achilles heel of these transmissions. That was top, and You're not going nowhere. There we go. Okay. She's in.
That's it? All the way in?
Yep.
All right.
Now we just got to put our retainer ring on there, keep it from sliding out.
All right.
That should be like a regular snap ring.
It is.
If I remember correctly.
Snap rings.
Personally, I feel better.
Oh, we didn't put the freaking anti-clunk spring in.
Oh.
Anti-clunk spring. Don't forget about this guy.
Because clunking in the transmission's not good.
All right, so take the shaft back out.
Not a big deal. Good thing you caught it, though.
Right.
Good thing you caught it. That's why you want to lay all.
All right, this here is your anti-clunk spring. See if I can see where you could. There you go. That thing. This flat piece drops in and sits right on this little ear. Yeah, right there. That's a little better. And then your next piece sits on top of that. So when it goes into gear and this goes to shift back and forth, it quiets that down.
It's right.
Good. So that spring sits against there and comes
Into
to
that little tab.
little bent piece in the tab, and it stops this from chick 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 chick.
Now, should this?
Nope. It goes just like that.
Okay.
It's freaking stupid looking, but that's how it falls in.
And you sure that is the way it is supposed to go in?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because it was 2 hours trying to figure out how to get it out.
Okay.
Then I noticed the snap ring.
Yeah, there's so many little snap rings and shit in these. It will make you nuts.
It's in there. Now back with the big snap ring. I can't show you. I can't get the camera in to give you a good angle. I just take my word for it. It drops in.
That'll work?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go on the back side of it, push in.
Okay.
Then I get my little best friend here. So, hey, we're just gonna do this one pack at a time so we don't get nothing confused. And that went in this way.
Just like it.
That's the old one. Yeah. And then this drum doesn't come apart any farther than that, huh?
It's one of those things. It can, but there's no reason to take it any further apart. So.
Yeah, that's it. That's compression springs, and right. So we'll just leave this in how it came out.
Basically, if it was messed up to the point you had to go into that, you're going to replace that anyway.
Right. So I got 4 clutches soaking.
Yep, that's 4 clutches in here.
So what goes next? The big gear?
Okay. It's going to go in like this. This thick one goes on top. So we're going to do...
Did you flip it upside down when you picked
flipped it
up?
upside down, yes.
All right. And then clutch.
Clutch. Old clutch. And you see these old clutches really
So I'm saying this
have a
transmission.
lot of life left in them.
Transmission was working. It is the fluid was super dark, and I'm just if I'm gonna go in it, I might as well just change them all. And there's no like front or back; they just go
Right. They just go in.
That's it.
Now with this,
You gotta line them teeth up, huh?
you're gonna line your teeth up the best you can.
All right.
This is where it gets fun because you can't really see what the hell you're doing. You just gotta kind of index everything. Almost feel like you're cracking a safe, you know? You gotta play with it, move it just a little bit here and there.
Get them all lined up and then put your snap ring on, huh?
Well, you could do it even with the snap ring. I mean, there's not that much resistance, but
it does help to line up on that drum over there, though.
Yeah. So I'm used to working with my left hand.
I can get in there with your little gimp arm, bro.
Yeah. But I'm a stubborn pain in the ass.
Yeah, I know.
One of the reasons why I've got this thing on my arm, because, you know, I put up with the pain and store it up pretty good. All right, so now we'll put the snap ring in. While we're working on that, we'll go get the next set of clutches soaked.
Yeah, once you get the snap ring started, it pretty much just lines itself back up. And for a good measure, just kind of go around and push in with your screwdriver.
Yeah, give it a little tap, make sure it's in. All right. That's set going there.
And put your clutches in wet so you ain't got no dryness. All right, check this out. This is all clean and everything. And we need something to hold that while we take it apart. So I was looking at this. Since I don't have anything I can slide this through, I'll just stick this in here. And that'll hold it for me while I undo this snap ring.
Actually, can we turn this thing totally upright?
No, because there's no hole.
Oh,
The hole doesn't line up.
Gotcha.
Next time I put that bracket on that engine stand, I will do a better job of making sure the transmission will go completely upside down.
Okay.
It hangs straight, like it's on upside down.
Yeah.
If I would flip that 180, this would be level and that hole would line up. Right now it hangs flat without the hole up.
Okay. Well, this is better than nothing.
Right. So I figured, hey, we got a hole to stick this in.
Oh, wait, did I put the right set of clutches? Yeah.
It's the one with the big teeth.
The bigger teeth. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
the smaller sets last.
I think they both go in here.
They both go in there.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're not going to mix them up because the size.
Right.
So.
The size is way different, so you can't really mix those up.
Yeah.
The end of the string is right here.
Get them all good.
So I just barely stick the tip of my screwdriver in here. It's a spring, so it's under pressure. But I'll take these out and I'll put them down exactly how I take them out, so I don't mix them up. Oh, we're losing roller bearings and stuff. Springs.
That's a spring. So we're
Spring.
losing.
As long as they stay in the little metal packs, I think we're good. So that came out just like this.
Okay, yeah, they stayed in. Oh, so if we lose a roll of bearings, we got a problem.
Not roller bearings, just these little spring packs. I'll clean these off before we stick them back in. They go in these little flat spots, and there's another section down here of them.
Okay.
All right, so that goes with that.
All right, these are trash.
Yeah, more old clutches. All right, so we unprofessionally got this spring pack out. This that went down in there. Got the snap ring. It's a two-person job without the right tool. I guess I don't have the right tool. And I need to get this piston out of here. Look, coming right out. Check that out.
Oh.
I thought I was going to have to hit it with some air. So that one looks like this one. And it goes in face down or face up.
See the difference here in the rubber.
And there's got to be another one underneath this. So
yeah, you can feel this rubber here on this new one is a lot more pliable.
Yeah, that's why they lose gears.
Yeah.
As far as I know. So maybe a little air here. I'll stick your face in there. What's it doing? And there's another one here, which is this one. So both of them rubber deals go in here. One goes right on top of the other one.
Okay.
So we'll put that in.
And then we got one more. Wait, is this a new one or the old one?
The old one's still in here. That's the new one.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's the little one. Good and grease.
Which one are these for? So this one here. So it's not that one. Maybe it's this one. Boom shakalaka!
It worked.
Yeah, it worked. Unfortunately, it hit the concrete, but I think it'll be all right.
Okay.
So it looked like I could probably rewind it in slow mo. See, it just flew out of there. So it looked like it cupped into here like this. So it's got an O-ring on the outside and one on the inside. I need to get the concrete dust off the bottom of here. Clean this up a little bit.
Mental note, use less air.
And another spring pack. So it looks like it's universal. It can go in either direction.
We hope.
And then there's another rubber piece down in here.
Let's see. Well, we should have all of that, I would hope.
This dude, this piston, it's in the very, very bottom, huh?
Let's see. All right, what am I looking at here? Yes. That's the one.
That's the one. All right, cool.
All right,
so
let
this,
me grease it up, put this in.
yeah, don't be mixing up my shit.
I ain't mixing nothing up. All right.
Yeah, I thought like they went in different parts of the transmission. No, they all go, and this is like the overdrive thing. When these go out, it makes sure it lose your overdrive, then third, and all everything else.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not catching. It's not,
right.
you know.
It's allowing it to clutch and eating all the material off the disc.
Out the way, no mix-ups.
Hey, y'all, I'm gonna shut it down with that for right now. Next week, we're gonna do more of the reassembly of the 4L60E. I want to thank my buddy Jake for passing by and holding my hand and helping me go through this book. He used to be a GM technician at a dealership, so he's had his hand in a bunch of 4L60s. So thanks for passing by, bro, and getting this thing put back together. I try to do an upload every Friday. Thank y'all for people that watch and subscribe to this channel. I never would have thought I've gone this far. So it's been about a year I've been doing this. I'm over 313 now, so thank you very much. Without y'all, I couldn't keep this up. I need to get to 1,000. That way I can actually just kind of support myself over all the purchases I've been making to make this happen. So thank y'all for watching Modified. I try to do an upload every Friday. Catch you next week.